Arkansas versus Oklahoma State is one of the more intriguing matchups this weekend. So I'm super excited to dive into what Arkansas quarterback Taylen Green needs to do to have success against Oklahoma State's defense. I want to talk about Oklahoma State's defense and what we can potentially expect from them, and then what Taylen Green needs to do against Oklahoma State's defense. And we're going to have a few clips of film at the very end, just kind of showcasing Oklahoma State's defense, then showcasing the type of throws, type of plays that Taylen Green is going to have to make and create to have success against Oklahoma State's defense, right? So my theme is heading into this game is, one, have I drinking the Kool-Aid of the Arkansas offense after week one, right? Have I bought into the hype because they scored 10 straight touchdowns against one of the worst FCS offenses in college football, or FCS team, sorry, not offense, team in college football? And maybe I have drank it a little bit, right? Because I'm actually really excited to see this offense now. I thought they showed some good things against UAPB, and obviously they showed a lot of good things, but they showed some creativity that we haven't seen. I'm excited to see them go under Centerson, right? But with that said, let's talk about Taylen Green. Let's talk about the Oklahoma State defense, right? I kind of feel like I'm backtracking a little bit heading into the season. I marked up this as a loss for Arkansas, but now I'm kind of backtracking. If Taylen Green is the real deal, then Arkansas wins this game. I truly think that, because if he's the real deal, that means they have the better quarterback. That means they have the better athlete on the field. All right, so before we talk about what Taylen Green needs to do, let's look at Oklahoma State's defense. How much do you take away from their success against South Dakota? Did they do enough to show you that they could be a potentially tough defense? Well, I think they did enough. I think South Dakota State is obviously a much better FCS program than UAPB, and Oklahoma State was only 10-point favorites, something in that ballpark range, maybe a little bit more if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong there, but it wasn't like they were 4 or 5 touchdown favorites like some of these SEC schools against the FCS opponents. This is a good FCS school, right? But with that said, you still want to take it with a grain of salt. But I thought they had to show more defensively than Arkansas had to show offensively against their opponents. But what did we see against South Dakota State? Well, we saw the defense, Oklahoma State, get a lot of pressure without needing to bring the blitz, without needing to bring extra people, right? They got a lot of pressure without needing to blitz. Only 15% of the quarterback for South Dakota State's dropbacks they blitz. So only like 6 out of his 39 dropbacks they blitz. But they're able to get a lot of pressure. I think 18 total pressures Oklahoma State was able to get on South Dakota State without having to bring the blitz, right? So what does that tell us that we think Oklahoma State's going to do against Taylen Green, against Arkansas? Well, I think they're going to drop 7 or 8 guys and see if Taylen Green makes a mistake. I think based off Taylen Green's history, based off what they think maybe they have an advantage, I think they're going to drop their guys and maybe not blitz as much and see if he can make a mistake, right? Now, at the same time, they could have maybe not wanted to show too much on film. Maybe they're going to show more blitzes, more exotic packages once they face Arkansas. But I think they're going to drop guys into coverage and try to have Taylen Green make a mistake. It's kind of my takeaway watching this defense. And we'll look at the film because we're going to see them bait the South Dakota State quarterback into an interception. I believe it stood, but you're going to see them drop 7 or 8 guys and the quarterback throws a bad pick. But at the same time with that defense, I think there could be opportunities for a bust, which we're going to show. So if they drop 7 or 8 guys with Petrino's offense, they could still confuse the Oklahoma State defense, right? Okay, so theme of the defense, I think they're going to try to force Taylen Green to make a mistake. I think they're going to give him some gimme throws and try to get Green to be impatient and force the throw, right? So what do you want to see Green do? Well, number one, I want to see him use his legs. I want to see him run. I think he's potentially the best athlete on the field. I want to utilize that, and I want to utilize it early. I want to show the Oklahoma State defense how athletic I am if I'm Taylen Green or if I'm Petrino calling the game. I want them to be aware, like, damn, this cat is the best athlete on the field. I want them to see that. I want them to see that early. Number two, I want to throw off play action. I want some big plays off play action. The South Dakota State quarterback last week was 6 of 8 for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 picks off of play action. He was much better at throwing. He was a much better quarterback with the help of play action than he was on the straight drop back. So I want to see more of that. South Dakota State's only 20% of their dropbacks were off play action, but it was successful. And that was something Taylen Green did well last week. I mean, he did everything well last week, right, against UAPB, but that was something that he's able to have success. And we're going to see a good throw off Taylen Green here in a second off play action. Number 3, I think this kind of wraps up everything, is don't force it. Take the check downs. They're going to try to lure you into forcing an interception or making a bad throw, which we're going to watch here in less than a minute of them luring the quarterback into making a bad throw, right? That's how you keep drives alive, is by taking the check downs, by not forcing it. That's how you improve your accuracy. High completed type throws is what you want. And that's how you not get in trouble with turnovers. So don't be lured into forcing it, right? And I think I would want to see them start fast. I want to see Arkansas start fast. And I get it. That's obvious. That's not some type of rocket science breakdown, but I want to see them start fast. And I want to see Taylen Green be accurate, right? So number 1, I want to see him use his legs, show the other team how good an athlete you are early in the game. Number 2, some big throws off play action. I think that can be, I think you can take advantage of Oklahoma State's defense, even as they're dropping 7 or 8 guys. If they do, get them out of position by play action. And that's something Petrino, I think, creatively can set up. And number 3, don't force it. Take the check downs. Don't give into temptation from the Oklahoma State defense, right? All right, so let's go ahead and watch some clips. We're going to watch an example of Oklahoma State having an interception against South Dakota State last week and how they just lured the quarterback into it. We're going to watch a blown coverage, which maybe happens, right, against Oklahoma State this weekend. And then we're going to watch Taylen Green and a really good throw off play action. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the film. So first clip that we are going to check out here, this is an interception. You're going to see Oklahoma State looks like they're going to bring pressure, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like one thing pre-snap. They only bring 4, so they drop 7 into coverage. Remember, like we talked about before this clip right here, I would not be surprised to see Oklahoma State drop 7 or 8 and try to lure Taylen Green into a mistake. And that's exactly what they did to the South Dakota quarterback here. So if we watch it here again, it's game footage or broadcast footage, so it's slow motion, so I apologize. But you're going to see it looks like they can potentially bring 7. They only bring 4, and it's all the D linemen and your DNs, the edge guys. So they bring 4. They drop 7 into coverage. Again, only bringing 4. So they disguise one thing pre-snap, show something post-snap, and force the quarterback into throwing a ball he shouldn't throw. That's just not something you're supposed to throw right there, right? So an example of Oklahoma State luring the quarterback into throwing a bad ball, right? So if you're Taylen Green, avoid this. And I think he will, or hope. If you're an Arkansas fan, you hope he will, right? You have the option to use your legs, right? But just don't force anything. If you don't force anything, man, you should be in a good position when this game is all said and done. All right, clip number 2. If you don't force something, you take what the defense gives you, then eventually Oklahoma State showed that they could have a bust in coverage, and this is exactly what happens here. Let's go ahead and play it. Bust in coverage. Again, they only bring 4, so they drop 7 here, right? So they're not bringing a ton of pressure, or they're not blitzing. It's actually a pretty good job blocking by the offensive line. And then a coverage bust, something happens downfield, and a guy is running wide open. I don't know if maybe the safety ducket brought up right here, right? This might be the safety that he's supposed to be back here. Don't know. Just speculating and guessing. Let's go ahead and play it. But ends up being wide open, big pass, right? So if you're Taylen Green, if you're not lured into forcing the ball, and you take what the defense gives you, then eventually maybe a play like that can happen, right? Okay, so let's watch one clip of Taylen Green. This is one of my favorite throws here. And again, this is UAPB. Like, I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's just like the level of athlete is just so different from Arkansas, right? But still, these type of throws, throwing off play action we talked about, I think can be big against Oklahoma State to have that type of success and get the defense out of position. Throws like this, I think is what I want to see from Green and have Petrino draw up. So it's play action, right? We talked about the second point we want to see from Green are deep shots coming from play action. Get the defenders out of position. I don't know if the pocket's going to be that clean against the Oklahoma State defense compared to UAB, but hopefully it is. And this is a nice throw. You know, he's wide open, but still a good throw from Green from the left hash to the right side of the field, outside the numbers. Boom. That's a really, really strong arm action. Now, I know he's wide open. It helps that the safety is on the ground. but still, these are the type of throws, right? So just to recap it, we want to see Green use his legs, showcase that you're the best athlete on the field, and take some big throws off play action, and don't be lured into what Oklahoma State's defense is trying to have you do. Don't force anything. Don't make a mistake, right? And trust Bobby Petrino and his creativity to scheme open some guys, right? Arkansas fans, quarterback fans, let me know your thoughts. So what do you want to see from Taylen Green? If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help us grow and move forward. But please like, share, and subscribe if this type of quarterback niche content is up your alley. Follow us along. We'll see you next time. Peace.